Thank you for joining us at the Lunchable, brought to you by CheeseBoy Comics off of Rainbow and Windmill. My name is Megan Hansen.
I'm Alexander Montgomery.
I'm John Barley.
And I am Chandon Clinton. And for today, in regards to DC's Forever Evil series just finishing, I thought we could go off and discuss our favorite villains or supervillains from whatever comic book series that we like. Megan, you want to start us off with that?
Okay, so my favorite villain from all of the crazy awesome comics would have to be the Governor from The Walking Dead.
Nice.
The comic version, the show version is obviously awesome too, but just the power that he has in the comic version of The Walking Dead is just amazingly awesome to me.
I don't know anything about The Walking Dead at all. I don't watch the show and I don't read the comics. What is the Governor?
Okay.
Is he that bad? Because he just seems like a guy.
So
He's just a guy.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
I'll try and tell you without any spoilers, because literally everything that he does in the comic book is just absolutely terrible for Rick and his crew. I mean, he maims them, he tortures them, he brings tanks. He's just one of the worst people that you could find yourself being with, or being against, I should say, in an apocalypse scenario. He is the leader of this giant group, and they all love and fear him, and they'll follow him wherever he goes, and they have lots and lots of guns.
So like a regular governor.
Like a regular governor.
But
Yeah.
the best part about him in the comic, he has a very human side to him, which kind of produces a form of sympathy for him.
Yeah.
Which makes him a very rare and interesting villain. You actually feel something for him in the comic books, but then you just absolutely despise him.
So I'm imagining he stabs a woman and then goes to his baby and I love you, and kisses him on the forehead.
It's kind of that.
It's one of those interesting things that comics can do, where they with any series can do, whether it's a comic or a book or a game, where you feel sympathy towards the bad character. You know what I mean?
It was definitely mixed feelings. There's one scene in particular that I won't say, but he does something really terrible to Rick, and it's I cannot believe that this just happened. And he also did something really terrible to my favorite character, Michonne. And it's just at first I was oh, I feel really bad for him, he's a really good guy. And then as soon as he messed with Michonne, I'm are you kidding me? No, this is not happening, and I hate you so much, but I love you too. He's a really well-rounded villain.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Alex, what do you think?
Who's your villain?
I hate that guy.
Who do you vote for?
My favorite villain by far is Sabretooth from the X-Men.
Nice.
Really?
Sabretooth, I really like because he's pretty much on par with Wolverine, and no one realizes that a lot, because he is the same thing as Wolverine. He's got adamantium bones, and he's got super regenerative properties, and
canonically he's the brother of...
He is.
I thought...
Yeah. And him and Wolverine were the secret weapons together when they were fighting as the Weapon X. It was basically both of them.
Yeah.
I thought it was he had bone claws instead of adamantium.
No, it's the same thing. Have you guys read the Wolverine origin?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a scene where it was a long time before the both of them were turned into the weapons. There's a shot where Sabretooth, or I forgot what his name was before that, but he's holding a pitchfork downward at Logan's face, and just the end claw is kind of broken in half. But it goes back to that same shot later on, 50 or so years into the future, and it's the same shot, but it's his claws, and one of them is broken off because it just became that way from fighting.
It's pretty cool.
And Wolverine and Sabretooth are just so long-term that I really liked all the interactions that they had, up until then. They've always been arch enemies, but they don't focus on that enough, I don't think. It's always Magneto and whatever he's doing, and then Xavier and how he's raising everybody up. But I liked the interaction between Wolverine and Sabretooth more than any other comic book I've ever read.
Right.
I actually agree with you. Sabretooth is really, really cool. He's such a feral beast of a villain that there's not really any mental deals or whatever, but it's all brute strength and beastiness. I like it.
I wish that in like the X-Men movies that they would have made Sabretooth better because he wasn't that great.
He was really lame.
Yeah.
I have really long nails and very sharp canines.
Exactly. He was so lackluster. He wasn't in it at all. Like
Right.
The first movie, they just ruined him and like, I guess we can't use Sabretooth anymore because it looks like
That's
a
how
pansy.
a lot of the X-Men movies were, in my honest opinion.
They made characters so terrible now. Like, I guess we can't use them anymore. Whatever.
Like, I never really liked Sabretooth because, like, in the comics, he just looked so bad. I didn't like his character design at all. It was just, like, a weird, fuzzy, like, neck thing.
I like it.
I hate that.
He is just a beast.
He's got some.
It's
He's got
like
mad
fur.
chops.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
got
like
mad
that.
chops.
It looks like he's wearing, like, he's a rich lady and he has, like, one of those shawls. And I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Okay, I'm not going to disagree that his costume is a little ridiculous.
But yes!
It's meant to like focus on how much of just like an animal he is because he's not as much of he's not as much as a functioning person as Logan is. He's just a savage guy.
A savage animal with a nice taste for fashion.
Exactly.
Mr. Bartley, how about you discuss with us what your favorite villain is?
I really like. It's sort of a super villain, but it's like the symbiote from Spider-Man. So Venom and Carnage.
Okay.
Because it's like it's an alien, but it's an illness, and it goes on. It's like a suit, but it's not.
Oh, because the Venom is like a strain, right? Like the
Venom
has a-
is Venom is a guy who has the symbiote on, and he just the symbiote just took control of his body.
Okay.
But like Spider-Man even wore it like a little bit because he was so powerful,
Right.
and he decided to not wear that black costume anymore
Mhm.
because it was just like taking over his body. He was doing evil shit.
All right.
And what I really liked about the symbiote is just like, if it doesn't have a host, it'll just turn into something even more deadly than Venom. And Venom's super deadly. Like Carnage, do you know?
Yeah. No, I know who Carnage
He's
is.
the red Venom. That's how everyone says him.
So-
But like, he's super evil.
Okay. So
And-
is there always like a like there always has to be a Venom kind of deal, or?
I don't know about that, but it's just like, if the symbiote is on a person,
Right.
then there's a Venom, I guess. So yeah.
Well, they never really get rid of it. It just goes from like
Exactly.
person to person, like a host.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a disease. It's so cool.
Yeah, I like how it just detaches and goes to another person. Like, all right, now you're Venom.
Unfortunately, Spider-Man 3 did a terrible job.
I was gonna
That
say
was
there was a Venom in one of the movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was Spider-Man 3.
It was
They did
bad.
No,
really
yeah, no.
awkwardly.
I can't remember if I saw it or not, but I did see a lot of like the I guess like the video shots of him,
Mhm.
and like I guess when he opens up his mouth through the one, he has like the tongue spewing out
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of deal going on. Like I remember my first comic actually was Venom issue #1 that I found at a random garage sale,
Wow.
and I was like, oh yeah, this guy looks terrifying. I'll read it. But yeah, that's cool, I guess. And it's funny that you say that because I was debating who my favorite villain was going to be.
Yeah.
Because Venom is actually really, really cool, and I wish I had prior knowledge like of like his background and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, it'd have to be like Slade, or I guess his name is Killstroke or Deathstroke. Or
Deathstroke.
yeah, Deathstroke. And I guess he showed up in one of the new Batman games. He's one of the boss fights that you can go against. But you remember him in Teen Titans?
Yeah, here's the bomb.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
in Teen Titans. I did
Whoa.
not link those two together. Like I had no idea because he used to be called the Terminator, I think, or Terminator.
The Terminator.
Yeah.
Really?
I knew like throughout the Teen Titans series, I could relate all of the Titans to the comic books that they were from, but I could never figure out who Slade was. Like I didn't know the character Deathstroke the entire time I
Right.
was a kid watching that show.
Like,
Yeah, he's always just that badass.
I was like, who is that?
Who is that masked man?
But it's cool because like he went through a lot of different name changes. He was I'm almost positive he was the Terminator or just Terminator or something like that.
It was.
But the word Terminator was in his
Yeah.
title.
Was
It was
in
the Terminator.
in the Teen Titans show?
No, in like his original own
Oh.
series.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Deathstroke the Terminator.
Oh, that's
Yeah, he was like he got trained by I cannot remember her name for the life of me, but it's like another case of like I'm gonna make a super soldier. You're gonna be my test subject,
Mhm.
and he got trained in like all these different kind of like arts of just killing, and then I'm gonna totally butcher this, but I guess like his son got involved in like World War II or something like that, and throughout like a lot of his comic series, he gets the same kind of treatment that the governor does. So
Right.
he goes through like these periods of he has like this really deep human personality, and then he's just this like total onslaught of just carnage and killing and destruction and death that follow him everywhere. And it's really cool because like I saw gameplay footage of the Batman game that he's involved in, and he's terrifying and really attractive. Like he looks really old and serious because he's got like white hair, but you can't take that for anything in any form of comic thing because you know anybody could have gray hair and be like 22.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but it was cool because I had no idea he was in the new Batman games, and I just got to see that, and I was like, well, this is.
And he was in the Teen Titans.
And yeah, that was like the most mind-blowing thing to me was like, oh, cool, childhood. He's in Teen Titans.
It's funny that you say Teen Titans because something really important, something really monumental happened with the original Teen Titans, the one in the 1960s,
right?
The comic series. The artist for it died.
Really?
Yeah,
when?
Nick Cardy. I don't know when he died of '93. I think it was today. He died.
He died today?
Yeah, and he was a power figure.
Well, not to date.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, that's
no,
wrong.
He said 93.
No. He died at age 93.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
So when this is recorded, I think he died today.
You think? It's not possible.
It may have.
He died in this week.
Speaking of which, who were we talking about earlier that had... who plays the Joker in the games that you were talking
Mark
about?
Hamill.
And he did what?
Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Plays the Joker in the Arkham games, like the Arkham series.
Arkham games.
He's the Joker.
And
yeah,
one of the original Batman cartoons.
That's so cool, isn't it? Luke Skywalker was a part of it.
Yeah. Mark Hamill was probably one of the best Joker voices.
We have events that we do instead of board game Sundays, which is, Megan, do you want to go off and tell us what that is?
Yeah, we do Magic quite a bit. There's always someone in the shop, but we have our events, which is Wednesday. We do draft at 6 o'clock, and then we also do draft on Saturdays at about 1. And then we also have F&M, which is Friday Night Magic. It's $5 to get in for most Fridays except the first Friday of the month.
Which is
$10. And with the reason why it is $10 is because we have a $100 cash prize for top place.
Okay.
So that's the first of the month every month.
So it's a first
standard.
Friday deal.
Yeah, and it's standard play.
Standard play. Okay. So and for those of you who don't know what Magic is, standard is the most recent sets that you can use within the block, and that's what our F&M or our Friday Night Magic or our First Fridays are based off of.
So you can only play with the cards that have been released within the past 2 years, and anything that's a little bit farther than that, anything that's a little bit farther back than that is not legal in the format.
But I rather do like that we do the First Fridays. It seems like we've been gathering more of a crowd each and every First Friday of the month that we do. And since now we are on the topic of Magic, with Theros being released now and Standard being what it is, do you guys want to discuss some of the like new major staples, our new like Thrag Tusk and our new Thundermaw Hellkites and what have you?
Master of Waves.
Okay. There we go.
Well, what? Oh, come on, I'm a blue player. It's what I do.
I'm a blue player too.
Master of Waves was a $1 card before the big tournament happened. Literally, someone traded in a Master of Waves for a soda before it was $20. He definitely came back up to the counter and was like, "So about that Master of Waves," and I was like, "Yeah."
I get 19 additional sodas off of this one.
Yeah, not so much. Like that was one of the cards that everyone was like, maybe not so much. And then it just exploded, and so I like it a lot. Yeah.
So that's your like favorite Theros card.
No.
No, but it is a card that did impact like if you saw the Pro Tour, it was nothing but mere matches against everyone. Essentially, it was just who can get to Thassa faster.
Exactly.
Mr. Spikes, do you have any commentation on that?
He just waved a fist at us.
He just waved a fist at us. This is getting violent.
I can honestly say that I believe I know Mr. Spike's favorite Theros card, and the card that we both agreed that when we first saw it was just going to impact Standard.
Is this our good buddy?
Is
a good friend of ours?
It is our good friend Gary.
Gary! Nobody dislikes Gary.
His legal name is Gray Merchant
of Asphodel, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
The fact
It's
that
too long. It's
the
just
fact that that
scary.
guy is a comment for what he does is
It's
one of those things that research and development knew what they were doing. They put this card out, said this is going to be that super secret nuclear bomb that's going to go off, and it's just going to destroy everybody.
much like how Thundermaw was a sleeper card up until like the last couple of months of Standard.
The last 3 months
Yeah.
of standards,
Right.
everybody ignored Thundermaw. Then all of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, a 5/5 for 5 that taps anything that can block it."
and deals 1 damage to them.
Sure, why not?
Oh, that's pretty good.
No, I agree with you hands down about this Gary card. I think that they were just like, okay, well, it's going to take up a common slot, so let's do something that's really expensive, but it's a 2/4, so it has a fat butt, stays on the field, can trade with something, and is meant to be a sleeper that's not supposed to be seen play until way later. And then all of a sudden, everybody was like, "So have I introduced you to my good friend Gary? He's a good friend of mine. So you're going to take 6, right? Okay, cool."
Gains it. Let's not ignore the best part of Gary. He is a zombie.
Mr. Montgomery, who's been our resident zombie archetype player for as
A
long
long
as
time.
Innistrād's been around.
Dare I say he's an expert at zombies?
He is.
Expert MTG zombie.
So you-
I dare you.
So, Mr. T, you feel as if Gary has been like one of the most impactful cards in Standard.
I feel like he's been an impact, yes. Is he the most impactful card? No.
Okay.
As a Magic player, I do not feel that there's not one card that impacts Standard. Yes, there are going to be cards that impact Standards, but a card is only as good as the player that is playing it.
Absolutely.
You can take the same card and put it in somebody else's hand, and it does nothing. You can take the same card as Master of Waves, put it in somebody's deck and think it's the best thing ever, and it causes them to lose.
Right.
I have personally beat tons of Master of Wave players with just knowing what they're going to play and just play around it. Nothing feels better than when somebody Master Waves you twice, has 30 tokens on there, and then you rack those, charm them, and make them take 30. That is the best feeling ever.
I know personally, I've seen people play multiple Master Waves, and I like to put in stupid secret deck type cards. Like, one of my favorite ones is Shrivel, because Master Waves is just a 2/1 body, and you can play as many of those as you want all day. You can get your 30 elemental tokens, they can be 5/4s. I'm going to Shrivel and watch them all fall back into the sea.
They're no longer seahorses; they are just sea.
They're just the smooth ocean.
So we have Miss Hansen's impactful card, which was Master of Waves. Mr. T's was Gary. Mr. Montgomery, would you like to put in your 2 cents?
I think both these cards are great.
That's cool, but what do you think is the new one?
Okay, just completely impactful. Let's see. I don't know, nothing's really catching my interest in this set so far besides Gary, but that's only because of the fact that he's a zombie. I think the only other creature I could say that I like more than anything else is Timarith the Murder King.
God.
Murder King!
One of the best legendary creatures ever so far. Just red-black, 2/2 guy. You're never going to get rid of him, ever, and he's just going to throw stuff at your face.
He has the stupidest name, though.
He's not
the
a-
Murder
no.
King?
Are
The
you
Murder
kidding
King.
me?
It sounds so
Every
stupid.
Magic card is a metal band. I don't care what you say.
Tim with the Murder King?
That is a cool band.
It's just
name,
like, I'm
sir.
the best at murdering people. I don't know.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but it's
He's-
just,
The best.
I think it's just a stupid name.
So, Mr. Bartley, what is going to be your most impactful Standard card?
I really like the mountain card.
Land?
I love that.
It's a pretty good card.
It's a
I would dare say it's a staple of most red decks.
I think it's.
I might
really
be
necessary.
wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
I'm
It's
not?
definitely
Okay.
necessary.
So you definitely
It gets all your creatures out.
it does. He makes a
It
good
gets
point.
all your creatures out.
Because
such synergy in red.
it's
Yeah,
just you play a
I
land
know.
and you play a creature and you do a thing.
Alex got the perfect word, synergy. That's
Okay.
great.
Mr. T, you wanna comment on this mountain talk?
No. to me, if it's not a planes, you're doing it wrong.
That's true, Mister. I have all the game day foil planes in my white deck.
Not all of them. Almost. The collection is almost complete.
I thought you used to have all
Not quite there. I had some and they went away. We did that because I understand you guys are talking about the most impactful cards that you guys think are Star Wars is going to hit. But my question to you guys is, what is your favorite decks that you've seen come out of the Pro Tour? And I don't mean just one card. Like, yes, a Master Waves is a card, and yes, it's part of a deck. Like, what is your guys' like more playable decks that you saw come out of Theros?
Okay, I don't want to sound biased or whatever the word I'm looking for is. I will definitely say the Esper decks, but not because I myself am an Esper player. I saw a lot of the deck lists come out of things like the TCG tournaments and the Star City Opens, and even the few Esper decks that were played at the Pro Tour. And it surprises me because Esper is a control deck. And traditionally, control decks play counter magic, and they were not playing a lot of counter magic in the decks. It was like maybe 2 syncopates and like 3 dissolves, and then the rest was just like far and aways or doom blades, or even like they were main boarding like 2 blood barons and an aetherling, and then a lot of mutavolts. And that to me was very interesting. And going back to the conversation of impactful cards, they have the new Thoughtseize. And I was interested in what you said, where you talked about a card is only as good as the player.
Right.
If you recall the Reed Duke article about Thoughtseize,
Yes.
that was a big part of that article.
Yeah. Was when to play it, how to play it, how to analyze the situation.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to add to get everybody's opinion on that, because me personally, even though the deck that I like didn't take top 1 chart. I think it was in top 8, but I may be mistaken. Was the this Selesnya aggro deck that was put together by Craig Wesco, and anybody here knows that apparently any deck that Craig Wesco puts together, I have to play. That's just the way it works. It's white, it's aggro. Just do it. Give me planes. Put it down. Swing and let's do this. I'm fine with it.
Right.
But it's just interesting seeing the different architect and just the different styles of decks that have came out with Theros. Because I just remember 4 months ago, that if I came to you guys and said, hey, I'm going to build a mono blue deck, you guys would be like, we're in Return to Ravnica. You need 3 mana.
Yeah.
You need to be playing Jund with your stupid little cards that make you win because, I just pay 1 mana and X and I do everything.
Mr. Montgomery, I saw that you had a bit of input on Mr. T's question.
Well, I was just wanted to talk about the deck that I like the most. Anybody who knows me knows that I love playing black. So Brian Bronduin's mono black with a little bit of splash blue deck was probably my favorite thing to watch at the Pro Tour that was happening recently. Like I said, I love playing black to draw cards, so Underworld Connections and Erebos and like Read the Bones, just the best cards in the set right now.
And I do know from personal experience that Mr. Montgomery's favorite card is Rest in Peace.
We're not going to get into this right now.
Somebody doesn't like when their graveyard can't be utilized.
I like using the graveyard as a resource, and it's too easy to get rid of it. I'm just not going to get into this because I can talk about this for a long
What Mr.
time.
Montgomery's trying to say is that he's all about value, and he likes using every zone that you can get out of Magic.
He's not very wasteful.
He's not very.
If I could get cards out of the exile zone, I would. I would do it all day.
Mr. Bartley, would you like to add in your 2 cents about decks?
Well, first off, Mr. Bartley is my father's name. And I'm not too big on Magic decks because I've just been playing Izzet, so red-blue, since I first started Magic.
He has.
I've never deviated once. I pretty much play the exact same way.
You have.
Only counter spells and like a little bit of creatures, and that's it. So
this is whole
that,
Just control burn. That's it.
Magic to me is only red-blue.
No, this is true. When we first started, we all bought the intro decks, and John has only been playing the blue-red for as long as we have ever started Magic.
He's so loyal.
I tried Simic, which is blue-green, because I was like, oh, Evolve is going to be great, but God, I just couldn't. I felt like I was cheating on red-blue, and so I came back, and they came with open arms, and I didn't turn back since.
So, on the topic of Magic, another popular format that isn't just standard that we do here at the shop is EDH. And as Mr. T has just reminded me, we just had the release of those EDH decks, which was the Esper Colors, the Grixis, and
all the groups from Shards.
Yeah, all the groups from Shards. And from what I saw from like the lists, those have incredible value in them.
Yes, they do. The Grixis one is worth 4 times as much as what it's being sold for. So a $30 deck gets you about $80 to $100 of value of cards.
Jeez.
Isn't that the deck where it has the blue colorless protection from
The
target
revolt-
player? What?
I want that card.
What the heck is that card? Protection from target player.
I've already seen people play in
It's
Legacy,
ridiculous.
and it's insane. They play it, you can't do anything.
No.
You just give up at that point. Oh, you got to turn 3? Okay, I lose.
You have to board wipe, and you're gonna board wipe one creature.
You
Like,
gotta
come
try and
on,
find some
why?
kind of edict.
I have to admit that as a avid standard player, and a lot of people here can vouch, I was against EDH. I did not want to play it. I didn't like the concept of only having one card. But I have to admit that as a product, these EDH Commander, I mean, what would you consider them? Intro packs?
No, their
Essentially.
commander decks, yeah.
Well,
Like-
they're
Pretty
decks,
much
but
intro decks.
they're intro decks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're so good. Like they're more. Well, no, seriously. Like they're more than just intro decks, though. Like if you think about an intro deck that came out with Theros or M14 or whatever, it's like, oh, no one is gonna look at this and try and play it. But like literally, the commander decks are really well put together.
And that's what I was getting to. Like, as far as I just said it because a lot of people explain to me that these decks, you buy them and then you build onto them. To me, it sounds like an intro deck. But as a standard playing coming in, I actually look at this and like, I want to do this.
Right, yeah.
This makes me want to play Commander because I'm looking at the card. It's fun. It's something I can just go in there, pick up. I don't have to spend like 3 months trying to put together an EDH deck.
Right.
And if you're somebody like me who literally who did not even pick up the game until the Innistrad block, I have no idea what these older cards do, and I have no idea even where to find stuff like that. But for me just to go somewhere and pick it up and be like, okay, I'm good, let's play this, I love that.
Right.
Yeah, like I play so much EDH. Everyone here can vouch for that. It's probably my favorite format among all formats. But
Agreed.
I picked up the Mind Seas Grixis colored pre-made commander deck, and I was absolutely amazed at how easy it was to play just right off the bat. Me and Mr. Spikes over here took a couple of our just pre-con commander decks against like actual thought out planned EDH decks that took people months to build, and we just tore them apart.
So these pre-built ones are just going to town.
They're monstrous.
Oh,
They're
wow.
very, very good.
That's what I was saying, where I don't even think it's comparable to some of the intro decks that Wizards puts out, because this is just above and beyond like a regular just, oh, this is the intro deck for Theros. You know,
Right.
like it's not that. It is like a full complete, like this, you can just go and win. Just go have fun. Like
But I think it is pretty much an intro deck because like people who have never played EDH or Commander, they're just like, oh, I kind of want to try it out, but I don't have a month or the amount of cards to make a deck. I'm just going to pick this one up, and it's already ready to go. It's already good, so they're going to have a good time doing it instead of just making a half-assed EDH deck from the crappy cards that they have and be like, I don't like EDH.
Right. No, you guys are both saying the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
we
in
are?
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like how Mr. T said here. It's such a dominant product, and the cards are just as good as Megan was saying that they can't. I don't think you can look at them as an intro deck, but for players like me and Mr. T, like me and him only play standard, and to see these kind of products being made by Wizards makes us want to play. And it's not just like, oh, just play these cards. It's like players like you or Alex add on to them. Like you add your own kind of like little like spices onto these things.
Right.
But you guys are essentially saying the same thing. It's good, but it's like an intro deck-esque kind of thing where if you're not into Commander, you can get into Commander by doing this, and then eventually build it up to what you want to play.
Yeah.
Oh, and also just as a point of, just as another point of how good these products are, I literally came into the shop. Kobe had 7 sitting out on the shelf, just
Right.
sitting there waiting. We literally start F&M. We got one round into it. I went to go back to pick one up. They were all gone. All 7 sold within an hour.
Yeah, it's not even that though. I mean, I think we had like 5 cases of them, and they were all gone before everything even started. Like there was only 7 left.
Right.
Like,
You guys
That's
started
insane.
today with 5 cases?
yeah,
I did not know that. I did not know that.
They went so fast.
it was ridiculous how fast they flew off the shelf. Well, I mean, I guess we all kind of saw it coming that it was going to be sold out really quick, but it sold out much quicker.
The amount of anticipation people wanted. I even saw one guy come in and buy one of every single deck that there was.
Yeah.
He literally came in and bought. He was like, "Give me one of each."
Yep.
I was like, "Oh, well, I guess he really,
He really
likes EDH."
High roller.
I know. I came in as soon as the shop opened, and as soon as shipment came in, I opened the box. I pulled out the Grixis one. I'm like, Kobe, I'm buying this right now. Before this is $80, and we don't have any of them on Earth.
Yeah.
So we've been discussing a lot about stuff that's been happening here in the shop. And I wanted to do a segment that I would just want to call Kitchen Top Conversations. And what this is for our local listeners or viewers who have tuned in today. This is just discussing like our meta or what is happening in CheeseBoy Comics.
Store antics.
Yeah, store antics, like whether it be like Magic, board games, or anything. It has nothing to a specific topic. And I just wanted to start this segment out with, dear God, Alex is a monster with Grixis. Let's go ahead and skull crack you and notion think that Sphinx's revelation of yours.
I don't have very much fun playing Control, but I picked up a Grixis deck that we spent like a couple days just vigorously building and trying to make perfect.
Vigorously.
We took it to F&M and made top 8 like it was nothing, but right around 4, we go control matchup against America, and like typical land go for like 18 turns, and opponent tries to slide in a Sphinx's Revelation after I sideboard, and I skull crack, so that is 3 damage, and players can't gain life this turn, and then I, in response, flash in my Notion Thief, which
It's dirty.
The ability is whenever an opponent would draw a card, they don't, and you draw that card instead. So I made sure that he did not gain his life and took 3 damage. And drew no cards, and I drew all those cards instead of that.
Just as a verification for people, so people don't think that card is overpowered, it is whenever they draw that is not their draw step.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which
any
has
card after their draw step.
which pretty much points directly towards
Sphinx's Revelation.
It's a
massive
massive
hit
card.
card.
or cards like divination, and also too, which is something that people didn't remember about that card too. It is a stasis ability. That means as long as Notion Thief is out, that just happens every time. So as long as Notion Thief lives, blue, white, or America cannot Sphinx. So period.
They
I
can.
I mean,
it's not going to roll over pretty well.
I
for
mean,
them.
Please do.
if at that point they're Sphinxing just to gain life, they already lost the game.
Yeah, I totally forgot that Notion Thief was a static ability because I was so excited from the fact that I had done something I'd been talking about for months. I was just waiting for somebody somewhere to skullcrack Notion Thief with Sphinx's Revelation for at least 5 or more, and I did that, and I was just so excited.
You got to be that guy.
I got to be that guy. I need a name tag.
You're a monster.
I am. But I let him get away with another Sphinx's Revelation.
You let him.
I let him.
Okay.
I-
We just have to point that out. You let him.
I let him slide by with another Sphinx Revelation because I forgot that Notion Thief is a static ability. So he did his...
Is it a static ability?
It is.
He just said that.
I was
Like,
obviously not paying attention.
It reads on the card. It says that's just the text on Notion Thief that if a player will draw outside of their draw step, you draw those cards.
Okay.
instead.
This is a really good card.
we just went over
So,
that.
yeah.
I don't read my cards, Megan, so
Oh,
I don't know why we're so
Cry,
surprised.
What?
Anyway, so yeah, I let him slide by with another Sphinx Revelation just to Rakdos returning for 5, and then I kept a last black man open so I could thought seize the main thing. Immediately after that, just duressed that Pithing Needle out of his hand for he can hit my Aetherling, and then just swung on him with a Notion Thief and a Key Rune, just bam, 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 you're dead.
That's dirty.
that was the fastest control match I've ever seen because we were the second people done in round 4. And I went outside and I started jumping and dancing and singing. I was like, woo, I'm that guy!
He got a little name.
That actually reminds me of a deck that I put together that instantly just got. It was a mixture between Dom, this is the best deck you ever made, until Dom, why are you doing this? This is the worst thing ever. And it was a deck that I call Haterade. It was literally just black red creature hate, and the main thing around it was 2 cards. One, which I think is an amazing card that nobody plays, is Master of Cruelties. A 1/4 with first strike and death touch that if he goes unblocked, your life total just becomes 1. Which is the best feeling ever when somebody on the end of your turn sphinxes for like 9, and then you just look at their face when they have nothing to do with them, and you're like, is it my turn? It's my turn, isn't it? You're at 1.
I'm sorry, if you Sphinx for 9 and have nothing to deal with Master of Cruelties with, you're doing it wrong.
I've decided to tap out with your win condition on the field.
Yeah,
Or
right?
even the best thing, I was playing against an Azorius Control, and I just played Master Cruelty. A turn went by, he did nothing, and he came back to me, and I passed it to him. And the look on his face when he went to go verdict my guy and killed him, and then I played Grim Return, which is a card I love from 14. Which is return target creature from the graveyard that was put into this turn. I'm like, cute, you just wasted all your mana. I'm going to bring my dude back out.
I got a guy now.
And I'm going to swing and I'm going to kill you because you just lost to Shock. That is amazing.
Okay, Mr. T, how about you tell us the other staple card of the deck?
Oh, there was another card I put in there. It was just for fun. It is not a tournament viable card. but
You did amazing.
if you can win with Havoc Festival, please send me a picture or something, and I will find you and I will sign it, and it will be the best thing ever. Because the main reason why I love cards like Havoc Festival and like just random cards like Havoc Festival or Maze's End, it is that you're winning by a non-standard way. And for those who don't know, Havoc Festival is a 6-mana enchantment. The first thing says players can't gain life, which to me is hilarious. That you're just like, you just play this card and it's just like, okay, can you run faster than me? Let's find out. And the rest of the card states that at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose half your life totals rounded up. And the reason why I like that, because you just lose it. So it can't be prevented. It can't be fogged. It just happens. And then you just sit there, and then everybody's like, well, you're going to lose half your life too, which I'm fine with that. But the minute you pass it to them, and then that realization hit that they just went from 20 to 10, or from like 25 to 12, they're just like, oh, you're playing red. Yeah, how many burn spells do you have in your hand? All of them.
like Mr. Montgomery has experience with our favorite card, Lava Axe.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started.
Hey Alex. Hey
Catch.
Catch.
But the main thing I like about decks like that, or decks like what Mr. Montgomery was playing with the Grixis, is that I understand. I 100% understand that Magic is a competitive game. And it will always be a competitive game. But if you can't take a product like this that has over, like just in standard by itself, it's like we're reaching almost like 800 cards?
Right.
And I can't have fun with this and do something else, to me seems like a waste. But the fact that you can get things like that and just go with it, it's just hilarious to me.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about Magic, but I actually wanted to introduce you guys to a comic that I've been reading. I don't know if any of you have read it or not. It's called Saga. It came out a while ago. I can't give you dates because I'm bad. I'm a bad geek. But it's an ongoing series right now, and it's kind of like a mashup between Star Wars and Avatar. Avatar is in the blue people, not Avatar is in the last
I was like,
one.
wait, there's guys who can waterbend now?
No.
I was actually looking into Saga, and I really kind of want to read it. Really kind of.
Really kind of. No, Saga is an amazing series. It's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet story, but for dudes. Like if you if you want to put it that way, there are these two factions. There are the horns and there are the wings, which of course are differentiated between the horns have horns like rams or whatever, and the wings have wings, of course.
Oh.
They're alien species, and they're at war with each other. And it turns out, the one horn and one wing meet together, and they kind of fall in love, and they have a baby, which is like a super no-no for the rest of the universe that is trying to now hunt them down and kill their baby. And so it's kind of like a story about their escape and their love and their baby, of course. And it sounds really like romantic when I'm talking about it, but it is the freaking funniest and most amazing comic like I've read in a while. Like, it's hilarious. There are people that have computer TV, or not computers, but TVs on their head. Like, it's aliens, and there's this like giant spider lady and bounty hunters, and like they're running for their lives in this tree that's a spaceship. Like, it makes no sense when you say it out loud, but as soon as you read it, you're like, oh, this totally makes sense. This is really, really good.
Now you're talking about comics, and now I want to talk about a comic. So there's this one comic that I read a little bit of, and it's nowhere near new. It's been like out for years. It's called The Goon. Have any of you guys heard of that?
I've heard of it. I've not read it.
It's so cool. It's like a comedy. It's sort of like comedy, but like it's a throwback to old horror, like 1950s horror. So like there's the swamp monster and the blob or whatever the hell it's called. And there's like voodoo doctors and just zombies everywhere, and it's like the norm of this city. And it's super cool, and I just love it.
Since we're going to be on the topic of comic books, I don't know if anyone knows, I'm a huge Warhammer fan. Warhammer 40K. They had a comic series called Damnation Crusade, and oh my god, was it beautiful. And I'm really sad that I can't find a single copy of it anywhere. Like, it's based off of a chapter that I really, really love, and they're called the Black Templars. And it's probably one of the coolest comic series that I've ever read. Granted, I've only read like 2 of them.
It's okay, you will learn.
I have a special place in all of my body for
special place. All of this.
But here at Cheese Boys, we have a miscellaneous section for like self-published comics or just comics that don't belong to like a major series.
Oh, well, yeah, not just a major series, because like Dark Horse is also a major major publisher, but it's in the miscellaneous section.
Right.
We have DC and Marvel, which are the 2 really big wigs, and then we do have our miscellaneous section that is, there's like Fathom, so there's Image, and there's Dark Horse, and all of this, I guess smaller stuff, but it's not small enough that I would call them small. Really.
Right.
But that's. I don't know. I'm the type of person that I really like all of the stuff in the miscellaneous section. Like, Colder is probably right now one of my favorite comics. Just the title or the art on the front page is this guy sticking his fingers into his own lip through his right underneath his skin and touching his eyeball. It's amazing.
It's intense.
Yeah. I don't know. I like gory, gruesome stuff, I guess, but.
Yeah, I read that one. It's amazing.
I know, I told you about it.
Yeah, I actually ended up picking up a copy of that one too. And reading
did you?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
It was actually pretty good. And
it's kind of like a psychological thriller.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's not psychological thriller as you would see, like, Shutter Island, like that movie, or
Amnesia.
Or I don't know if Amnesia would be a psychological thriller.
Hey,
really.
man, I definitely cried a lot.
That just means horror and scary. That's not like psychological thriller. That's like, messing with your mind a little bit.
Right.
But speaking of Amnesia, did you know that there's a new one out? I'm totally
A Machine for
jumping-
Pigs?
A Machine for Pigs!
Is that new now?
Yeah,
What was it out for?
Shut up! Oh my gosh!
Have you guys beaten it yet?
We have not beaten it yet.
Oh.
We're in the middle of doing it, and it's
Continue.
amazing. Sorry, there was like a motorcycle, and
We have
were
dragons outside.
No, we were talking about Machine for
Dragons.
Pigs, and I hear and I'm like, oh my god, are
Pigmen
you here?
Yeah, we were watching Jordan play that at Megan's house the other day.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good to watch.
if you ever want to experience Amnesia the way it's supposed to be experienced, you have to play with Megan. She is by far she makes the whole experience that much more enjoyable. Because when the game wants you to jump, Megan will jump. They're supposed to be scared, Megan will she will make it so much fun to play with. I mean, you just sit there and you just watch her, and she's literally creeping down the hallway. You hear something on the left, she'll stop, look to the left, and just be like, I don't want to go further. We're like, you have to go. She's like, no, I don't have to. I'm safe right here in this hallway.
We
Relatively safe for me.
We played Amnesia Machine for Pigs for Halloween. When we were all dressed up, it was the middle of the night.
Right.
They're like, yeah, let's play a horror game. So we were like, yeah, we've played Amnesia: The Dark Descent, we played Penumbra, and all that stuff. And honestly, those games are best on your own with headphones.
Right, frictional
Turned
games does
all
a
the
great
way up. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. But I am a scaredy cat, and I love horror games, but I don't really like playing them because I'm really scared of them. So my friends always make me play a little bit, of course, because I always try to, and then I get scared and cry a lot. So so there was, we were going down the hallway or whatnot, and that stupid pig thing came out of nowhere and scared me, and I paused, and then the person after me died. Yeah, whatever.
Alrighty, so thank you guys for tuning into our ramblings today. This has been the Lunchable podcast brought to you by CheeseBoy Comics off of Rainbow and Windmill. We have a few more of these in the works. We will try to get them out as fast as we can. If you guys enjoyed this, definitely go to CheeseBoy's Facebook page. Let us know. We will probably be releasing this on Facebook, like promoting it or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
We're uploading this to Jonathan, I believe, SoundCloud.
SoundCloud is correct.
And can we get the handle on that? What is it?
Yeah, it's just going to be called the Lunchbox.
The Lunchable.
The Lunchable, the Lunchbox.
Yeah. Thank you
John,
guys.
I know how to.
Thank you guys again. This has been the Lunchable with Chandon Clinton.
Megan Hansen.
Alexander Montgomery.
John Barley.
And yeah, expect more from us coming soon, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
But not as much as I want to bang Princess Leia, 'cause I love Star Wars anyway.